Hey everybody, welcome in to another edition of Howlin with the Huskies, live from the Steakhouse in Helena. Caleb Brooks, joined by head football coach at Helena High School, Coach Richie Busby. And Coach, last week we kind of had a test run with all this, and you guys had a test run out on the football field, but this week on Thursday night we're going to line it up and we're going to do it for real.
Yeah, there's no testing come Thursday night. It's been a short week, with us playing Friday night. Thursday night last week, and then we had our Husky Day and more pitchers. So it's been 7 days a week for a couple weeks, and then we got to turn around. We went to Montgomery today and then play Thursday night. So it's been about 9 or 10 straight days of football. So, but we're ready to go.
You mentioned going down to Montgomery today. Obviously, you guys were at Media Days down there before the Kickoff Classic. Tell everybody a little bit about Media Days, what you guys did down there, and then also just what that kind of does for the anticipation of getting down there and playing on Thursday.
Well, I was pleased with going down, seeing 4 or 5 news stations there. Montgomery's a town that does a really good job of covering high school athletics, and obviously the Athletic Association is housed there in Montgomery. But I think it's good to start talking about high school football again. You had 3 great coaches there, along with myself, Coach Cassidy from Chelsea, Keith Etheridge, who's a really good friend of mine. We coached together in a couple All-Star games, and Wade Waldrop at Hoover. 2 storied programs in 7A playing each other. Then you got 2 rivalries, a rivalry with us in Chelsea. So it's a great day, just mainly to get to talk about high school football again and get ready to get this thing going.
When you look at Thursday night for you guys, how big of an opportunity is this for Helena High School to be on a statewide stage like this? A lot of people are going to be tuned in on WOTM, the HSA TV network, the HSA radio network is going to be broadcasting the game, and it's going to be statewide coverage. So how big of an opportunity is this for Helena to really kind of show everybody statewide this is a team to watch for this season?
Well, our kids have worked extremely hard the last 4 years to be on this stage come Thursday night. All the guys before the guys that are here with us tonight have paved the way to start to build this program. We're not anywhere where we want to be yet, but we have made progress over the last 4 years, and this group has got to pave their own way. They got to prove themselves come Thursday night. Can't live off the 9 wins you had last year. We got to go out there and play it one play at a time, and they know this game is an emotional game. They know a lot of those kids over there. So be a lot of peaks and a lot of valleys, and it is that way every year when we play them. I talked a little bit about it today at the press conference. Last year we went up 20-0, and the next thing you know it's 20-14, and we're in a brawl there. So, hopefully this year if we do get up 20-0, we can go and try to put it away. But Chelsea kids they're hard-nosed just like our kids are, and anytime you got a crosstown rival that you see the kids a lot, it just means more, and I think it's a huge opportunity not only for us. When I was contacted originally by Brandon Dean, the director of the Alabama Coaches Association Athletic Directors, I thought it was a great opportunity for Shelby County schools. We had 7 schools in the playoffs last year, so I thought it was another opportunity for us to help showcase how far Shelby County schools have come in football, and we're just looking for, we're just happy to be on that stage come Thursday night. We're appreciative of it.
You guys, like we talked about, kind of had a test run Thursday night against Leeds. Tell me about that game, what you kind of got from that game, some of the positives, some of the negatives, and what you guys are now working on from that game last week.
I think we might have touched on it a little bit last week. In my perspective, anytime you play a preseason game like that, a lot of your corrections come in special teams because you find some holes and stuff that it's just hard to duplicate that full speed in special teams in practice when the starters are going against younger guys. And, it's myself, it's hard for me to put our starters out there going against them. You're so scared to get somebody dinged up. So really for us in a preseason game is, let's see where we're at in special teams because that's huge for us. Just like last year, we kicked 3 field goals in this game. 2019, we kicked a field goal with 30 seconds to go to beat them at home on TV that night. So special teams are a big thing for me in a jamboree, and I thought our offensive line played pretty well the other night. They started gelling together, and they've been together for 3 weeks now, and that's just something that we're going to have to continue to get better at up front, and I think that only comes with live snaps. So hopefully Thursday night they'll be ready to go. I know they'll play hard. We just got to stay even keel when a rivalry game. You can't get too overwhelmed by good things, and and too down on yourself when something negative happens. But overall against Leeds, we played a very good front. They had 3 guys up front that probably are as good as we'll see all year, and that pleases me to be able to see those guys compete against somebody like that early on.
When you're preparing for Chelsea, new coach coming in, how do you prepare for a team that, obviously they're going to look different than what they looked like last year with the new coach? Do you watch a lot of J.B. Pennington film? Are you watching Chelsea film to see certain players? I mean, how do you prepare for a new coach coming into a new place?
Well, they definitely have the advantage when it comes to, knowing what we do, because we're very similar to what we've done the last 4 years. So they have an advantage there. I think a big thing for us Thursday night is going to be able to make adjustments on the sideline, because we kind of have an idea of what Coach Cassidy's done in the past. I've been a head coach against him for 4 years. He worked for our defensive coordinator. So we have a feel for what he's going to do, but he also knows that we know those things too. So we're going to see some wrinkles that we've probably not seen before. First of all, he's got different personnel than he's had. So we're going to have to our kids are going to have to do a really good job of staying focused and making the adjustments on the sideline, because, we have their jamboree film from last week. I'm sure just like us, they didn't show a whole lot. They were very vanilla. Did as little as they could to get away with a win. So we're just kind of flying blind on this, and we'll just have to do a real good job and be mature on the sideline and make those adjustments.
They defeated Talladega 56-0. Do you think that maybe stands out to your kids and makes them prepare a little bit harder and be a little bit more focused when they see a team have success like they did last week?
Well, I hope so. You don't ever know what these guys are thinking. They're teenage kids. We tell them though, you can't get caught up in looking at scores, because you never know the circumstances for which that game was played, whether somebody had players out or whatever it may be. You can't compare scores. You can get yourself in a lot of trouble, or you can get down on yourself before you ever get in the game basing on what somebody else did. So we've watched some film and we've showed them enough for them to know their basic scheme. But then again, we didn't want to show too much, because he may come out and do some stuff that we have not seen or he has not done against me or Coach Elgin in the past. So, like I said, we're kind of flying blind. So I hope they're not paying attention to that. But I hope it gets their attention that they can score points, and we'll see.
Even though you guys have played Chelsea a lot over the last couple of years, you are rivals and all that, them moving up to 7A and now being in the region that they're in, does that now give your guys a chance to maybe make a statement, and does that maybe add to this, any with them making that move up, being a 7A team, and, people being able to look and go, hey, Helena had a lot of success against the 7A group. They're going to be a team to watch for as the year goes on.
I don't know. I haven't thought about that a lot until you just said it. To me, it's just Chelsea, and and it doesn't matter if they're 7A or, Lord, we got beat pretty bad by a 5A team last year in Mobile. I told them today we've got to do a better job of our mental focus. And it showed last year, week 10. We were 9-0, and I think we were feeling pretty good about ourselves, and took a long bus ride down to Mobile. Did not handle that very well. And, talent-wise, on paper, UMS Wright doesn't have better players than we do. They have comparable players to what we have, and they just, they did a great job that night, and they won all 3 aspects of the game. And so, I don't think you can really say that, hey, you beat a 7A team, you're here. Because you may run up against a 4A team that turns the tables on you. So I think we just got to focus on playing one play at a time, figuring out what they're going to do throughout the game. It's going to be a challenge, because I think one of the things that we need to work on is our focus, our maturity, our mental toughness, and that's all going to be a challenge Thursday night.
Obviously the goal every year is to make the state championship game. This year it'll be at Jordan-Hare Stadium. That's a really big venue. This is going to be the biggest venue that you guys play in. They've got the video screen at the end of the stadium. Is this a good opportunity for your guys to prepare themselves for what they want to get to on down the line, and have this experience at the beginning of the season, to where if you guys get where you want to go, hey, we've done this now, and we're prepared for what that's going to be like?
Well, there's so many things about this trip that I'm looking to see how we handle. Our last road trip, we did not handle very well and got beat pretty bad. So it's a chance to see where we are as maturity level to start with. Anytime you go on the road like this, and going back to why I thought it was a great opportunity for us to play in this game. And I said this today, 99% of these kids will never play in a stadium like this again. This is a college atmosphere. It's a big stadium with big video boards, lots of noise. So just from a dad and a guy that wants these guys to have a great experience. I mean, we're taking charter buses. We're going to eat nice. Just for them to have that experience as a high school athlete is important to me. Take the football away from it, but when it's 7 o'clock, we got to play a football game. We can't be overwhelmed by all the traveling in a nice bus and all that, because all that stuff doesn't matter. Whether you ride on a school bus or a charter bus, ball's still going to go in there at 7 o'clock. And we got to do a better job of handling that this trip.
Do you think, especially for the younger guys, that this is going to be good for them to kind of get that out of the way? When y'all go to some other venues this year that have a video screen and go ahead and look at it here in game one, experience that, and now when you go to some of these other high school stadiums, it just won't seem as big of a deal and seem as big for them.
Yeah, well, we won't play in a stadium that has that kind of stuff. We've got I don't even want to talk about next week, but we've got another challenge next week where we got to go on the road even further, and I think those are two big challenges to start the year off, and it's really going to tell us a lot going into that Homewood game, where we're at mentally, what's our focus, that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I think this game, all that kind of stuff, anywhere we go from here on out, and like you say, if we were to come together as a team and get in a run in the playoffs, and you do, make it to a venue like Jordan-Hare or Bryant-Denny Stadium, you've been in something comparable with the video boards and that type of stuff.
I talked with your coordinators about this part last week, but with this being a rivalry game, obviously this is a big rivalry game for you guys, and then you're going to have another huge rivalry game later on this year with Pelham. How important is this weekend, this become an experience for these guys, and how to handle rivalry week, how to not get too high during practice, too high for this one game, and is that something that you like about having this rivalry game early in the season?
Well, the thing I liked most about getting the opportunity to play this game was I thought it gave our kids some motivation through the winter, the spring, and the summer. You can imagine how if Alabama-Auburn played week one of the season, not only is it the opening of high school football, you're getting to play your crosstown rival. And, I learned a lot from the first year we played Pelham. I'm not from Helena, or I'm not from Pelham, so I didn't really understand the dynamics of that rivalry yet. I'd only been on the job 6 months, but our kids were so fired up to play Pelham that they forgot about playing football. And I learned a lesson from that. And I told our guys today, at the end of this game, that the winner is going to be the team that blocks and tackles the best and protects the football and does the best job in special teams. It's easy when you're kicking field goals every day, 10, 11 of them a day, and you're going on air lots of times. You just lose your focus. You don't understand how important those 3 points could be in a game like this. But if they look back and pay attention to what happened the years past, field goals have been at a premium in this rivalry.
Talk about blocking, tackling. When I played for Danny Horn at Benjamin Russell, every game before we went out on the field, he wrote block, tackle, execute on the board. He said, whoever does this the best is going to win the game. Can it really be that simple sometimes in football?
It is 100% that simple. You watch the teams, and I know I talk about UMS Wright, but when I took this job, Terry Curtis and I are dear friends, and like I said, we have comparable type players. And, I called and I want to know how they do what they do with what they have. And no, he's had great players over the years, but last year when we were scouting them, we had an off week before that game, and we did some data, and the coaches brought it to me. And over 500 snaps, they had only given up 12 plays of 15 yards or more. That's almost impossible to do.
That's pretty good.
And we at times we'd given up 12 plays of 15 more in one game. So I told him to take it back and redo it again, and I called Coach Curtis and told him, he said, you got to be kidding me. But what that says is they tackle so well. When they get to the ball, the running back is going down. Lots of times you see these kids, they want to knock people out because they see it on TV. A good fundamental team like UMS Wright, they get you on the ground, and they don't give you any more yards. They're not worried about making them. They're so disciplined and so bought into what they're teaching them there. And there's other programs in this state that are comparable, your Fifes and those type schools, but they're so disciplined and they do exactly what they're taught to do. But it is that simple. If you tackle well and you block and you play with great effort and you protect the football and you execute, you're going to be hard to beat. I don't care who you're playing. It's when you go out there and you let all the external stuff like video boards and buses and all this other stuff affect your preparation going to the game, that type of stuff. That's when you get in trouble. So yeah, I think it is that simple. I mean, Jimmy's and Joe's are pretty important now, but you can narrow that gap real soon with good fundamentals, a good weight room program, things that we tried to do when we got here, and I felt like our kids have done. All coaches have a plan, but if the kids will not execute the plan, you didn't have one. So yeah, I think it is that simple.
When you look at Thursday night and look at this week for you guys, how different is this week playing on a Thursday compared to what the rest of the season is going to be playing on Friday? How have y'all had to change your preparation? Have you had to kind of speed some things up during the week, knowing you had one less day? So how has that dynamic kind of changed things for y'all this week?
Well, I think another good thing about our Jamboree is that it was on Thursday night. So the guys were able to have Friday and Saturday as their usual Saturday, Sunday. We brought them in Sunday evening and had we usually lift on Monday mornings and Tuesday afternoon. So all that Sunday was Monday and Monday was Tuesday and all that. So, but being able to play a game on Thursday and letting them have off on Friday, I think their week just kind of started over. For me, I keep thinking today's Wednesday, but that's kind of hard. But we've stayed in our routine. We've been in the weight room the same number of days. We brought them back for walkthroughs and film like we normally do. And the good thing about playing on Thursday night, it does give us an extra day to rest now because Buckhorn plays Madison County Friday night. So, if we can go there and take care of business on the flip side, it gives us an extra day.
Are you planning on watching any other games Friday night, teams you may play down the line? Is that what you'll use this Friday being off for?
Well, we're going to send some guys to different places. We're still, we're all drawing the straws to see who's going to drive to Madison County up in Huntsville, but we'll have some guys at different games. We'll spread out and try to see as much as we can. And sometimes that's a little overrated, as far as seeing them in person. A lot of time I just like to see their demeanor and, how they carry themselves and that type of stuff, because the film's going to tell you everything. You can't replace film, but we'll have some guys out, and that'll give us an opportunity to do that and cover some ground in week 0.
So next week, will you guys, Monday will just be like a normal Monday, and they'll just have a longer weekend this weekend to recover off game 1?
Yeah, and we do a little different thing. Sometimes we'll bring the offensive guys in on Sunday where the defense won't. Coach Ezra may not want to bring his in, and they do more film study. Sometimes we try to go ahead and bring them in on Sunday afternoon and just kind of go ahead and start getting the soreness out of them a little bit, getting the game plan, the basics installed. And but yeah, they'll definitely have Friday. Well, I don't know. Depends on how we play. Friday may not be off, but I told them that'll be up to them. And it's not winning or losing. It's playing with effort and doing the things that have got us to where our program's at. And like I said, the kids have done a really good job. I've got good coaches, and they've done a good job of getting our program to a certain point. Now we've got to find a way, wherever it may be, whatever offense, defense, special teams, to take that next step. And, that starts Thursday night.
What are the biggest keys for you guys to go have a successful Thursday night and come away with a game 1 victory?
And once again, you're going to say, Coach, that's so cliche. I think, whoever runs the football the best. We are blessed with several really good, running backs. And then I think whoever stops the run, I feel good about our defensive front. I really do. I feel good about, our linebackers. We're young in some areas in the secondary, but we're talented there. So they just need more and more snaps. One of the guys you're going to talk to tonight, Kellen Hughes, is as a team player. He was a running back his whole career. We went to him and said, we need a linebacker. And he's what Helena Football is about. Every year we have 2 or 3 kids that have to change positions their senior year for the betterment of the team, and they do it, and they've been successful, and therefore we've been successful. So, I think up front it's going to come down to, to that, because the weather is a possible rain. So, we're going to run the football. And so, we'll just have to see what the weather does, and then we're going to try to run 3 or 4 running backs. And we know it's going to be humid down there in that river. It just is. It's going to be hot. So that's another thing about maturity. Are we hydrating like we're telling them to during the week, or are they all going to wait till tomorrow night when it's too late? So I think the fronts are going to be the difference.
what point in game one does the jitters normally kind of get out of the way and both teams settle in and it just becomes a normal football game in your mind?
I think after probably about the middle of the first possession. I think every kid's different as far as the way they handle those jitters. I think if you don't have any, you might need to check your pulse. If high school football in Alabama doesn't get you fired up, I don't know what else will. So, you'll see it. I think you see it in every game. The game starts to come to you and everything settles in. I think we just can't try to do more than what we need to do. We can't get caught up in it being Chelsea or whoever we're playing. We just got to play one play at a time, which is another cliche. And special teams will at some point play a role in this game.
Coach, good luck to you guys on Thursday. We're excited about having game one here. I'll be calling y'all's game on the HSA radio network, so I look forward to seeing you guys and seeing what the product looked like on the field, and look forward to a really, really good game to kick off the season in the Kickoff Classic down in Montgomery.
All right, we'll see you in Montgomery. Go Huskies.
Yes, sir.
The Steakhouse of Helena is the place for community gatherings, rich history, and delectable, made-from-scratch meals. Our professional staff is dedicated to serving you with the best steaks, chops, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and more. You'll enjoy a welcoming community atmosphere, local history, and enjoyable dishes you won't find anywhere else. Our restaurant is perfect for the entire family, business events, and special occasions. So come on down to the Steakhouse in historic Old Town Helena.
Welcome back in. Howlin with the Huskies, week 0 here. Caleb Brooks now joined by Jax Rush, member of the football team for Helena, H-back, and a senior this year. And Jax, for you guys, man, I can remember when I got into my senior year and all the coaches kind of look at you different. You're looked to be a leader now. You've been in the program for a while. So for you, how has that dynamic kind of changed with you being counted on to step up as a leader and kind of being one of the guys that everybody's looking to on this football team?
I mean, it's definitely growing up, seeing like the senior classes who you look up to, and then you look up and you are who they look up to. So, it's like just a weight that's on my shoulders and the rest of our seniors, even if you don't play that in the weight room or we're on the field, that you've just got to lead and show the young guys where to go. And there's younger leaders on the team, whether that because they play or because they have loud voices. And, you basically are the coaches when the coaches aren't there. And, there's no one above you to fix that. So,
how have you felt about this senior class, the way that your senior class has led this group and kind of taken ownership of this football team?
I feel good. I mean, a lot of our players that are still around in our senior class have gotten playing time and stuff. So, we have a few, you say, like veterans that play, and so that helps experience a lot. I feel like we coach like our scout team players and other players like backups really well on what to do. That's one thing that I like as a freshman. I got taught by older people, and I just want to make sure that the same thing happened to us.
Tell me about waking up every morning and going to practice. It's kind of a catch-22. It's tough to wake up every morning. You're sore and all that type of stuff, but you do get your afternoons. You get to get homework done, do all that. But when you're waking up in the mornings and you see the players that come out there, does it add maybe to the respect that you have for your teammates to come out there and do that every single morning?
I think that it shows a lot that we get up every morning and we go to work every single morning, because you can ask anybody that plays once 6 hits, it's all go. Like, it doesn't stop until we go to school. And for people that work, I work and a few players do that. That's a lot of helpful. You still make some money for yourself. And also it gives more opportunity for stuff in the afternoon for football, like working out, or if you do anything, if you need physical therapy, anything like that. And also it's not as hot. I mean, it's in the morning, and once you get used to it, it's kind of like anything. It's like clockwork,
When you look at the Leeds game last week, what impressed you about this group? And then also, what are some of the things that you noticed watching film of, hey, we're going to have to improve here if we want to be able to beat some of the teams we want to beat?
I think our O-line is, we have a little experience and some unexperienced. I think we kind of came together a little bit. Our defense, we have some new faces. I think they rallied to the ball very well and played the best that they know how to play. I just think the one thing we need to work on is if there's a mistake made or if there's something that happens, I mean, the football is the next play. We can't sit there and, get mad about it. And, we have a lot of tendencies to point fingers and stuff, and we just need to own our mistake and keep going. There's however many plays in football, and one play does not define the whole game.
First play of the game for you guys last week, long touchdown. Just how exciting was that, and how important do you feel like that was too, and just setting the tone for the game and kind of showing Leeds, hey, we're here to play and we're here to kind of punch you in the mouth.
There was Jordan got hurt over he tore his meniscus or whatever over the summer, and so there wasn't really any question. He works really hard that he would come back, but seeing that was almost more of a relief for a lot of me, quarterback, running back, because at practice, it's scout team and stuff, it's not a lot of, you don't see him do a lot, and you saw that, and it's like, all right, well, he's good to go. Obviously, we did something right, and it was just like, this is set the tone for the rest of the game. For Leeds, they knew how it was going to be, and also for us, we knew what type of game it was going to be, right? After the first play, what type of game it was going to be almost all the time.
Even though you guys didn't play the full game last Thursday, from a conditioning standpoint, how much do you think just getting the time y'all got out there on the field is going to help this Thursday night against Chelsea?
Oh, it's going to help tremendously, because when even if you're going again, we'll go ones-on-ones, and that helps, but we don't do it for a long time because there's no point in getting us injured. And then scout team sometimes, plays over quick, because you might pancake the guy, might do something like that. I think it helped tremendous. It helped us hit other people and hit other different color jersey than we always hit, and I just think it definitely helped, especially it was at 6 not 7, so it was a little hotter, so I think that got us a little more conditioned for this game.
Tell me about your excitement for Thursday night, to get to play at the Cramton Bowl, to get to be on a statewide stage, being on the TV network, the radio network, and just all the attention that's kind of been put on this game since it was announced. What's your excitement level for Thursday night and going and playing this game?
I've played in a couple big games, since then, nothing like this, obviously. And it's just one of those things that's like, we'll probably talk about it forever. It's, it's a once in a lifetime, maybe they'll get to do it again, but at least for me, senior year, I'll remember it forever. It's an experience like nothing else, and it adds to the Chelsea game. You got Chelsea, Pelham, teams that we don't particularly like. Growing up in Helena my whole life, it's just, you just don't, Auburn, Alabama type deal. And so playing it on a big stage, it just makes it, you want to beat them even more. Everybody can see it. It's not just the local people. It's on TV, so when they click it on, you just want to be representing your city, even though we're not in Helena or Chelsea, whatever.
We talked about the senior leadership on this team, that type of stuff. How important is it for these seniors, these guys that have played in a Chelsea game, have played in a Pelham game before, helping some of these younger guys with how to handle this week, not getting too high, not putting too much stock into this? Is that something that y'all have had to talk to some of the younger guys about during the week?
You can talk about it. It's one of those things. I got my first start sophomore year, and there is no game like Chelsea or Pelham. No matter if you've played in 10 games or you've played in 30 games, it doesn't matter. And that, it's just a different feel when you wake up. It's a different feel when you get there, when you play, when you watch the film on it, watch the film on them. It's just extra focus that needs to be added. It's not in conference or anything, but it still means just as much to every single one of us as if we were playing for the state championship. We don't like them, they don't like us type deal. So, it adds. Everyone's going to go out there for excitement. If it's too much excitement, we'll know. We'll need to be toned down right after. But a lot of times we come out excited, and we just need to stay hot.
Coming off of the end of last year, where obviously y'all didn't end the year the way that you guys wanted to, has that added to some motivation for this group coming back this season?
100%. We have a lot of guys that train places and stuff, and that can just kind of be your motivation. You go 9-1, and then you lose your first round of playoffs. It's like, we're better than that, no matter who it is, or what we're doing, and I think we have more people that are bought in this year to going farther. I think we had a few people last year that were just kind of like okay for the season to end type deal. Had other sports, other things to do, type thing, and that's them, whatever. I think our senior class, we don't have a lot of numbers in our class, but we have enough that where I think we all want, to try to make school history and do things like that.
What are your big keys for Thursday night? What do you feel like that this team's going to have to do really well offensively to score points and to have success on that side of the ball?
Like Coach Busby said, you got to block well, you got to tackle well, and we're going to run the ball. And, you know, if we can do that, if we can win up front, you know, take care of the interior guys, well, it's not many teams that can beat us. So if we're getting, you know, 3, 4 yards, 5 yards of carry, you know, who we have at running back and what we have back there, it's really hard to beat us after that. I mean, spread the field and things like that. It's just, I mean, if we run up front, I don't think we'll have any problem.
Man, listen, really appreciate you taking the time to sit down with us, being right here on Howlin with the Huskies, and good luck on Thursday night. Really excited about this game and excited to get the season started this week.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.
The Steakhouse of Helena is the place for community gatherings, rich history, and delectable, made-from-scratch meals. Our professional staff is dedicated to serving you with the best steaks, chops, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and more. You'll enjoy a welcoming community atmosphere, local history, and enjoyable dishes you won't find anywhere else. Our restaurant is perfect for the entire family, business events, and special occasions. So come on down to the Steakhouse in historic Old Town Helena.
Welcome back in. Howlin with the Huskies, week 0 this week. Caleb Brooks now joined by Kellen Hughes, senior member of the Helena football team. And Kellen, for you, you know, Coach Busby talked about you a little bit earlier. You have made the move from a position standpoint. You go from playing a lot of running back to now moving over and playing linebacker for the defense. And just kind of tell me a little bit about this move for yourself, what it's been like to make this transition, and just how much smoother things are starting to get for you the more that you're playing the linebacker position now.
You know, at first, when they told me I was moving, I wasn't too excited about it because, like, you build your whole career training about a position that you want to know and be good at. But I just trust my coaches and Coach Elgin. And during the summer, during 7-on-7 practice, they got me right with the plays and stuff, and all I do is study it. So I'd say it's like it was a hard transition, but it was a good one.
Moving over to the defense, we know that this is a defense that loves to blitz, loves to get after people, and loves to just play fast. And so have you enjoyed that part of moving over to the defense, just kind of getting to play fast and run all over the place?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, I have. On Lee's, they ran a blitz on the outside, and I just shot off the edge and got a sack. That was the best part of the game for me.
When you do something like that, too, does that kind of, you know, you talked about I was a little apprehensive about moving over to linebacker, and I'd work to play running back. And when you make a play like that in the game, does that kind of give you that satisfaction of, you know, hey, maybe this was the right move, and I am starting to kind of grasp this a little bit?
Yeah, it gives me that good feeling, and then like gives me a burst of energy, like to keep playing like that, make plays, like just look good and like help my team win the game.
You know, this is a team that loves to run the football on offense, loves to stop the run on defense. And so going into this Thursday night against Chelsea, is that what you guys are really focusing on the most, is being able to stop the run and keep everything in front of you guys?
Yes, sir, because they love to run a lot of counter on the backside, so we have set up a special defense for that. But also have to watch out for the screens, because they always like to fake screens and run trips and all that. But we'll have all that sorted out Thursday.
Talk about them running counters, things like that. How important is it going to be, especially for you guys at linebacker, reading your keys, reading your steps, and you know, following what you're supposed to follow on Thursday night?
It has to be really important because they like to motion a lot of receivers over and back, motion, all of that. So it has to be really important that night.
Can't get caught with your head in the backfield and looking at all the movement and that type of stuff?
Cannot stare at the quarterback, no sir.
So when you look at this Chelsea game, you know, you've now been a part of this for a couple of years. Just kind of describe to me this rivalry. And you know, he said, look, it's different. When you play Chelsea, when you play Pelham, those games are different. What is it that makes these games so different and makes these the special games that everybody loves to be a part of?
It's the fact that it's a rivalry that you know, like, the person you're lining up against, like, you just want to beat him so bad. And, like, school history, you know, for the past 4 years, we beat them. And it's like you just want to keep that going and going. They want to stop that streak, but you know, you can't let that happen. It's just like a burning desire inside. You just want to keep winning.
Is that something that you guys have talked about as a senior class too? Is, you know, hey, we want to leave here having beaten Chelsea every single year that we were a part of this varsity program?
Yes, sir. We talked about, like, at the end of practices all the time. We want to be the senior class that keeps on leading it on. Don't, like, stop the trend, you know?
Talk with Jax about, you know, the leadership of this team and this senior class. How have you felt about your senior class, the way that they've kind of stepped up as leaders and how they've kind of taken ownership of this football team?
You know, we've had a lot of people step up, like during the wintertime we started back lifting weights and stuff. But we had to like increase that more intensity because we weren't getting what we need to get done. So when the summer came, all the youngins came in. We had to make sure we stepped up, got them in line, but make sure we did our work at the same time. Kind of like just be wasting time in the weight room or in the field when we do conditioning and all that.
And while we've talked about leadership and stuff, you moving positions, doing all that, did you feel like when you did that, was that kind of an example to everybody of you being a leader and showing, hey, I'm going to do whatever the coaches asked me to do and whatever's going to be best for this team to help us win going forward?
Yeah, I thought it was like a good moment to like show them. Even like if you're not playing the position you want to play right now, wherever the coach had lined up at, they have you there for a reason. Like they're not just putting you out there just to put you out there, all right? Work your like tail off, do everything they ask you to do, and you'll end up playing.
Where has playing the running back position in the past kind of helped you in playing linebacker now this year?
Because it'll help me because running backs always looking for a hole when they get the ball because like they have to find the hole, go. Linebacker, once the hole opens up and you see it and you know the running back's coming right there, you can just shoot right there and meet him in the hole and meet him in the backfield.
Is there anything from an alignment standpoint too? When you were playing running back, if it was a pass play, you maybe were going to be a step behind the quarterback, a step in front. Is there stuff that you've been able to kind of look for and see that maybe some other linebackers don't know about?
Sometimes like when the running backs running the stretch play to the outside or outside zone, they'll get on their heels on the quarterback's toes to get in front of him so he can just turn and go and not have the quarterback like step back all the way. So, that helped me a lot. And sometimes I do this with my team all the time when we scrimmage one-on-ones, but they would call out the pass protection to use, so I would know, if they're passing or not. So, yeah.
When you look at this defense, what is going to make this defense special this season, and what is going to make this a defense that everybody's going to really enjoy watching throughout the season?
It's going to be the front setting from what I saw during the summertime, because whenever we made plays, like during scrimmage or whenever, we just all like rallied together, like just kept building up the more energy, kept making plays over and over again against the offense.
Can you do you sense a little bit of a different motivation with this group coming off last year? You win your first 9 games. Obviously, the last 2 don't go the way that you guys want them to, and so can you kind of sense a different type of motivation and going in and maybe trying to avenge a little bit of what last year's team was not able to accomplish?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I can feel that in it, and I've also talked about it to them like during the offseason, like this upcoming season. I don't want to like just get a good record in the season and go home. I want to like make a deep playoff run for like a state championship. I want to be like the first class to bring that home. It's like a standard for the school Helena.
Even with the region change and defending the region title, is that something that's also important to you guys?
Yes, sir. It just shows that we can play against any team and win.
When you look at Thursday night, what kind of gets you the most excited? To be on this statewide stage, to have all the attention on Helena High School, Chelsea High School, and to know that there's going to be a lot of people watching you guys that, are just excited to watch high school football, and you guys have a chance to make this type of statement.
It just gets me excited to know that not only are we playing Chelsea, but we're playing them on a big stage that everyone's going to see that night. And that's like the better chance to whip their tail on TV.
Is it going to be difficult at times, make a big play, make a sack like you were talking about, not look up there at the video board, try to watch yourself and see a replay of it up there?
Yeah, I have to, I'd like to see during the summer where I like made a bad play on linebacker or something like that. And, I'll have my head down or something. But I can't have that this game. I made that better, and like if I made a bad play, take the coaching, next play, get it done.
Coach Busby talked a lot about, the trip down to UMS last year and that being a long trip and you guys maybe not handling it as well. And then, we talked about the first round game. And so with this bus trip down there, then the bus trip obviously up to Buckhorn next week, is that something you guys are focused on as a team of, hey, we need to make sure that we handle this the right way and make sure that we're prepared and make sure that we're not doing things on the bus that we don't need to be doing as we try to get ready to play a game?
Yeah. The seniors have emphasized to the rest of the team that we cannot have what happened at UMS happen Thursday or at Buckhorn, because we're going down there to win, not like just go down there and be on TV or the radio.
How important is this game one? Making a statement on the season and kind of letting everybody else know, hey, we're not going anywhere. We're still going to be right here at the top of the state where we have been the last couple of years.
It's important to us to know, we also want to start off with a 1-0 season, but to also know that even those seniors that left, we're still here to play. We can play too as good as them, or even better.
What are your biggest keys defensively for this team? What is this team going to really need to do well on the defense side of the ball to stop Chelsea and give this offense a chance to score some points early and get out to a good lead and run away with this one?
You need to be able to recognize formations, when they're unbalanced on one side or when they have a 2-back set, and also when they motion over. Those are going to be the 3 main things that we need to focus on.
Man, listen, really appreciate you taking the time to sit down and join us here on Howlin with the Huskies, and good luck Thursday night. Really, really excited to get the season started. I know you're pumped about it, and look forward to seeing you guys out there at the Cramton Bowl.
Thank you. Go Huskies.
It's going to do it for us here on Howlin with the Huskies. We'll be back right here live at the Steakhouse in Helena next week to recap the Chelsea game and look ahead to Helena and Buckhorn.